for the first time, we had 0 watch hours for Grogu in Chapter 15. So we may not have a Mando Mondays for the last episode, since it's the final episode, but we may. But this may be the final Mando Mondays for you guys. So I got a lot of things, so I'm just gonna do a few. So Boba Fett cleaned up his armor, which I don't like the look of his new armor. It looks really bad, honestly. He should have kept it like how he kept it. And they also, in Slave 1, when they were taking off to go to that planet or whatever, they took you inside the Slave 1. We've seen inside the Slave 1, like, the cockpit, but, like, we saw what happens below, we saw, like, what happens in, like, the lower deck of the Slave 1, which is pretty cool.
It's really, like, explaining Boba Fett's history and what's happened a little bit.
Yeah, we may even see, like, a Boba Fett show, which I don't know if I'd want that, like, because Star Wars, they like, just announced, like, so many new Star Wars shows, and so we didn't see, like, a Boba Fett show. We saw, like, everything we've asked for, except for, like, a Thrawn and Ezra show, which may be the Ahsoka show, and we did not get a Boba Fett show, and I don't know if I want a Boba Fett show or I don't, but, yeah, maybe after the Mandalorian and Boba Fett show would take place, because some of the shows that they announced, they say that it takes place during the Mandalorian, which is interesting.
Well, also, I was thinking instead of just, like, a Boba Fett show, I was thinking, like, Mandalorians in general, and it could be about, like, the Darksaber and how they try to take back Mandalore once and for all.
Yeah, that would actually be a really good show. Because, okay, we haven't seen Bo-Katan yet, which I was expecting her to come, like, in this episode. We didn't see Bo-Katan yet. We have a slight possibility that we will see Bo-Katan in the last episode. And so, and if she doesn't come back, if they just happen to kill, or if Moff Gideon gets away with the Darksaber and stuff, but I think the point of this season is Mando takes back Grogu. I think that's gonna be, and then Moff Gideon and the Empire still lives, and then there'll be another show, like you said, following Bo-Katan and maybe Boba Fett and Din Djarin getting back the Darksaber, which would be cool.
Well, at this point in the show, the real question is Baby Yoda going to be trained by a Jedi, or will he stay with the Mandalorian forever?
Okay, that is the biggest question right now. Okay, so this is what might happen. We could see two things. We could see the Mandalorian, the Mandalorian TV show, and right here, this episode, it ends. Mando gets Grogu back. That's it. He stays with Grogu. Or we could see a season 3 of the Mandalorian where Grogu is trained. So yeah, it could be either way. And when they entered that little village with the vehicle, Mando looked at, like, that kid, and so, like, maybe that means something. Like, maybe Mando, like, it kind of reminds him of his childhood, like, what he used to be, like, poor. Or, like, that kid could mean, like, something else, you know? So, when Mando and Mayfield, when they when they reached the Imperial base, like the stormtroopers, the Empire felt like the rebellion, like cheering Luke Skywalker on, it kind of felt like the rebellion to me.
Yeah, it kind of did, like how they were all like congratulating them and stuff. Like it reminds me of the Poe Damien scene when he got off of his jet near the end of the 7th movie, and like how there were just people around him applauding him.
Yeah, and it like and then like he even said he's like, I've never been happier to see stormtroopers, which is pretty funny. And like, so I think it was, so right now Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, like Disney, I think that they're trying to get video games, like George Lucas, he wants the video games to be canon, and so I think what they're trying to do is connect the Battlefront 2 story mode and like the Star Wars universe, like cinematic, like Mandalorian, the original saga, Luke Skywalker, all that stuff. And so, like, we saw Mayfield reference Operation Cinder, which was in the Battlefront 2 story mode, I'm pretty sure. And it's like where these satellites destroy this planet or whatever. I'm actually like not 100% sure what Operation Cinder is, but I think it is from the Battlefront 2 story mode, so I like how they're trying to connect the Star Wars video games and like confirm that they're canon, and they're connecting it with the Star Wars movies/TV shows.
Was this one of your favorite episodes, like out of all of them? Like, did you like this one that much?
Okay, so we saw, I'm gonna be honest, it was a pretty good episode. It wasn't the best, like it wasn't my favorite, but I mean they could have done better on it. Mando took his helmet off, which was like, cause like Mayfield, he could have just scanned his face and it could have been that easy. But why did they have to take Mando's helmet off though? It's exciting, but it kind of ruins the show. I mean,
there could be two different sides to it. There could be like one side where people are like, finally he's taken off his helmet and we get to see what he looks like, and then other people are like, no, you ruined the show because you took off his helmet.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they ruined the show. I'm just saying I think what they were trying to do, they were just trying to get his helmet off one way or another, because that was the dumbest reason to take off your helmet, or to take off his helmet. So I think that they were just trying to get his helmet off one way or the other. And going back to the first episode, chapter 9, with Cobb Vanth, we were like, he was drinking blue milk, but then it was like Scotchva or something. Well, I saw the lieutenant or the officer dude. I saw him with either blue milk. It was blue milk that he was drinking, or it was Scotchva. I'm pretty sure it was Scotchva that Cobb Vanth was drinking in episode 1. And yeah, I just saw like him drinking blue milk, which was pretty cool. And Mayfield, so we saw him abandoned on the planet. So I'm wondering what will happen to him, cause so he's gotten a fresh start, right? He's probably gonna go to like a village, and I honestly want to see his like story continued in like a comic series, which would be pretty cool, like him like restarting his life, like getting a ship and stuff. I don't know, that'd just be pretty cool to see a comic book on what happens to him. And at the very end, we saw Mando. Moff Gideon displayed a hologram, and those were the exact words Moff Gideon told him when Mando had the child. And so he's like, "You have something I want. You may have some idea of what you're in possession of, but you do not. He means more to me than you will ever know." Those aren't the exact lines, but it's some of the lines. And that was so cool to see. That made the episode honestly 10 times better. Because we saw, it was just an awesome reference to season 1.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Nope.
Okay, I have one more thing. So this wasn't in the actual episode. It was in the end credits. So you know how at the very end we see like the concept art for the episodes?
The illustrations?
Yeah, the illustrations, and we see like whoever. Well, on the concept art for the Imperial base, I think I saw Kylo Ren's shuttle, like a prototype for Kylo Ren's shuttle. I'm not even kidding. I think that might be a prototype for Kylo Ren's shuttle that Jon Favreau drew in the Imperial base concept art, which is that. It's crazy. That's crazy.
Well, it would make sense since the difference from when the Mandalorian takes place to the New Republic and like the Force Awakens in that trilogy, it's not that far off. And I'm guessing that their technology would have it wouldn't have skyrocketed that far, and so they probably would already have it in the past.
Yeah, and it looks so much like Kylo Ren's shuttle, but it doesn't. The wings aren't complete, so I'm pretty positive that had to have been a prototype for Kylo Ren's shuttle. What I think is gonna happen in the next episode. There's two ways. The next episode could go. We could have Bo-Katan. Come in. Help Mando save Grogu, and then get the Darksaber, and then everything at the Mandalorian ends. We see Grogu and Mando reunited again. And we see Bo-Katan with her Darksaber, ruling over Mandalore. Or and Moff Gideon dies, or we can see Bo-Katan doesn't show up in the next episode, but we see Din Djarin save Grogu, his allies, Boba Fett, everyone, save Grogu, but Moff Gideon escapes the Mandalorian series. Oh, no, wait, back to the first one, then there'd be another season where Grogu is trained by Jedi. But then there could be this episode where Bo-Katan doesn't show up, and then they save Grogu. Moff Gideon gets away, and then they either do a season 3 of The Mandalorian, or they end The Mandalorian there, and we see another show of Bo-Katan, Boba Fett, possibly Din Djarin, maybe Ahsoka and Sabine Wren, most likely not though, try to rule over Mandalore and get the Darksaber back from Moff Gideon. So that's what could possibly happen in the next episode.
And to be honest, even if Grogu leaves the series, it wouldn't be that bad if they continued it, because just like this episode, there was 0 watch time for Grogu, and it still was an okay episode.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't as good as the rest, but it was pretty good, especially with that season 1 reference that Mando did at the very end, the hologram. But I think that if Grogu goes on to get trained by a Jedi, with a little of Din Djarin's help as well, and then a season 3, maybe where Bo-Katan or a whole nother show where Bo-Katan and Boba Fett and everyone tries to rule over the Darksaber, like a season 3 of Mandalorian without Grogu, and just focusing on Bo-Katan and Boba Fett try to rule over Mandalore wouldn't be that bad. Cause like as we said, like this episode wasn't that bad. Without Grogu, it wasn't that bad, and especially with Bo-Katan making an appearance, and Boba Fett, that would make season 3 without Grogu and the Mandalorian, or maybe the Mandalorian without Grogu, just like better, you know. So yeah, like with Bo-Katan and Boba Fett, without Grogu, it would be season 3 would actually be pretty good, since we have a well-known Bo-Katan and well-known Boba Fett, you know?
Probably not.
Or like season 3 or a whole nother show.
Yeah, that could work out.
Yeah, I mean they already created, or yeah, they already announced like a lot of shows, like a lot of new Star Wars shows, and then I mean maybe they have like another one in store for us. Who knows? That's it. I think. Pretty sure for Mando Mondays. Not. I mean, without Grogu, it was an okay episode. Most likely, the Mandalorian season may end here. I mean, the Mandalorian series may end here. But that's basically it. This may be the last Mando Mondays, or the next Mando Mondays may be the last one. So yeah.